Why do you always gotta be so flashy? Howdy y'all, hope you're doing well. In the comments we've got for you guys, you asked for some studio flash photography tips and how to use them. So we're gonna be covering that today and how we can understand them and make sense of all the different options we have. The most important specification when choosing a flash will be its power. This is given in watts, unlike system flashes where power is determined by the so-called guide number. Flash power ranges from about 100 watts to 1300 watts. Of course, it depends on how large of a screen you want to light up and also how much light you need. But for regular studio photography, a flash around 400 watts will usually be plenty. Now you can adjust the strength by setting it individually, and this is done either with a number from 1 to 10 or like with system flashes by using a fraction of the power number where 1 to 1 is the maximum and lower fractions don't indicate shorter duration but a fraction of the flash's power. Now other parameters to look for when you're choosing one are TTL and HSS functions. If you don't know what that means, that's cool. Check out our video on system flashes where we cover the basics of flash photography, and you'll find a link right here or in the video description. You'll definitely need a trigger for the flashes. Be careful though, as it's important that the trigger is compatible not only with your camera brand, but also with the flash brand. Even though triggers mostly work on the same radio signal principle, they typically don't communicate across different brands. To trigger the flashes using the trigger, both must be set to the same channel. You'll also need to physically set the group on the flashes themselves. In short, groups set all flashes in that group to the same value. So if you have, for example, 3 flashes and want them to flash differently, you'll need to assign each one to a different group. It's also useful to check if the flash has something called a modeling light, which you can see right here all around me. This is an additional light on the flash that gently lights the scene before the flash actually fires. It's especially useful when shooting in dark environments so that you can actually see where and how the flash will hit the scene, and it helps the camera focus much better. Flashes are powered either directly via a cable from the mains, or you can buy a battery-powered flash that has an internal battery. Since flashes are often used with a modifier, we recommend looking for those with a Bowens mount. This is especially useful if you already own any modifier, as you can swap them across your entire lighting setup. Now flashes are often used with umbrellas, which are attached to the little hole here, which most flashes have. The Bowens mount is one type, but not all flashes actually have it. So make sure to check for this when you're selecting a flash. If you don't know what modifiers are, that's fine. We have also done a video on that. You'll find the link right here or in the video description. Now let's get back to talking more about flashes. The most basic method for any kind of lighting is called 3-point lighting. Ideally, we have 3 light sources that shine on the object. These are the key light, the fill light, and the backlight. Now each of these lights actually has their own role, and let's go over what that is. The key light's job is to illuminate the object as much as possible, and it's usually set to the highest power among the 3. Now what's more important than the power of the light is the angle at which you place it on in relation to the object being photographed. It determines how dramatic you want the lighting to be. A 45-degree angle is usually what we would recommend, but your creative intent and the desired outcome of the object are key to deciding that factor. The larger the angle you have to choose relative to the object, the more shadows you'll have on the opposite side of the object. The key light is typically used with a softbox, umbrella, beauty dish, or any other modifier that softens the light just to prevent overly harsh shadows. And that brings us to the next light, the fill light. Its job is to fill in the shadow created by the key light or to complement the contour of the object's dark side. Now it depends on our goal, but the more we move this light behind the object, the more it will define the object's outline rather than filling in the shadow. Now if we don't have multiple flashes available, or if we want a more subtle result, we can replace the fill light with a reflector or conversely, use a black surface to emphasize shadows in parts where we might otherwise try to fill them. The last light is the backlight. Now, what's the purpose of that, you might ask? Backlight helps separate the object from the background, either by lighting up the background, pulling it out of the darkness, or by creating a light circle around the object, which is why it's often called a backlight, or by lighting the object from behind, which gives the object an interesting contour. For this light, it's actually recommended to use modifiers that create a harsher light, like a reflector, or just not even using them at all. Adjusting the power of this light determines how much the object and background are separated. Now, if you're shooting on a white background and want it to be as white as possible, backlight will definitely be helpful and do the job. This way you won't have to whiten the background in post-production or waste your time cutting out the object and replacing a grayish background with white. Now, when you set it strong enough and place it far from the background without a modifier, it will not only create a beautiful white background, but it'll also create a contour around the subject by reflecting white light onto them. Now, once you master 3-point lighting, you can play around with the setup, things such as power, placement, and different setups or equipment, and you can get photos that start looking like this, like this, like this, and this. It's totally up to you. That's it for flash photography. I hope it was useful for you guys. Again, let us know in the comments because we like making videos that suit your guys' needs. As always, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe bell, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Till then, happy flash photography. See you later.